So today, I want to tell you the story, the adventure, the beginning of a grand adventure of a young Asmongold many years ago, sitting in his room playing the Burning Crusade. There I am, 16 years old. I was happy, hanging out with my friends all the time, every day. This is all I did and all I knew was playing video games, having fun, and chilling out with the boys. As you can see right there, that's Cody in the back. That's me with the video camera. Zach, Mikkelreevy, you guys know him. And then Cameron over there eating my hot fries. He ate fucking all of my hot fries all the time. And this was the case for years. There's another one. There's Jeff in the background. That's me playing WoW with my old hoodie. This is the exact hoodie that I had. Where is it? I think it's like right, it should be downstairs. This is the same hoodie that I wore whenever I was on the stage at BlizzCon. That's right there. That's Jeff, Cameron, and Toby. That's us in my other room. And we were just playing games, hanging out together, having fun. And this is what my life was every single day. Every single day, this is what I was doing. And this is what they were doing too whenever I was playing WoW and I didn't want to go outside. They were not happy. They were not happy at all with the fact that I was staying inside all the time. But they wouldn't understand the fact that I had something greater that I was working towards. I had something greater that I was trying to do. I cleaned off my desk and I was ready for that fateful night, January 7th, 2007. Myself and my mother, a long time ago. There's me and my mom. My mom took me up to GameStop on the midnight release of the Burning Crusade, the very beginning of the game. And we waited in the line in the freezing cold. And after about an hour, we got inside and my mom bought me and herself one copy of the Burning Crusade, as well as that t-shirt right over there that I still have. We came home, and after a while of loading everything together and getting it all together, which took me quite a while, trust me, it took me a very, very, very long time, I went through the dark portal for the first time. Now this is all I've been waiting for. Years, or a year about, 6 months, I have been playing the game, and this is the one reset that I was waiting for. This is the one time that I had wanted to go back and see things reset to put myself on an even playing field with all the other people that were in the server and that I thought that I could be better than myself. Before the dark portal opened, during the final event, there's me, and I want you guys to look right now at the two people that I'm next to. This was before I was in the guild Overdose. At level 54, young Asmongold encountered this warrior right next to me here, Gearbolt. And I tried to have him duel me outside of the Nax entrance. And you could see his gear, and you could imagine my gear at level 54. I lost. I asked him if I could join the guild, and he said LOL, and he said no. I could not join the guild. I took a screenshot with them. And I thought to myself, one day I will be in that guild. One day, I will join that guild. I enter the Burning Crusade, and I see, of course, for the first time, the Fel Reaver. I think this is the first time that I had ever seen him. I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was that I was going to play all night and all day, as much as I could, as much as possible. And at the very beginning, there were some group quests. Sometimes I didn't really have anybody else to play with, and the only person that I knew who was online was my mom. And so my mom and I went together into the Burning Crusade, into Hellfire Peninsula, and we did all of the quests together at the very beginning. And we leveled up, And we got all that stuff done. The two of us. That night. Back in the day. So I stayed up later and later, more and more, until the sun came out and I hit level 61. And it just kept going. Obviously, I kept farming. I kept leveling. I kept doing what I needed to do. I did all the dungeons, of course. It goes without saying, but I did. There's me at level 62, doing ramparts for the first time. Probably top DPS, but I didn't show up the damage meter because I didn't want to... I didn't want to embarrass the other people, of course. Ramparts was not the only dungeon. I also, of course, did Blood Furnace as well. And I was the tank. As you guys can see, I put on a shield, and I did what I needed to do. Because I didn't play an arms warrior, I played a warrior. I did what I needed to do, and I did whatever was necessary. Also, as well, a little bit later on, I went to bed. And I woke up that morning, and I heard the fateful words that it was a snow day. The day that Burning Crusade released, it was a snow day. And so I logged back on. I called my friends, and we played the game all day. It was, in Texas, we get one snow day a year, on average. I hit level 64. I was working my ass off, playing as much as I needed to play. I made my way into probably one of the coolest zones that the game has ever really had. The Grand. One of the first times ever I had seen something like this. And as an online gamer, this is one of my first experiences that I ever had. I went into Grand for the first time. I was exploring around, looking around. I was excited to see everything. And also, as you guys see, I was in a guild at that time, and that guild's name was Silent Asylum. You'll hear a lot more about Silent Asylum very soon. I did, of course, the Ring of Blood. This is me just waiting for my turn to do it with my group. Yeah, you guys will hear a lot about it. And I saw the biggest NPC that I had ever really seen at that time in the game. I saw Durn the Hungerer. This was a big-ass motherfucker. And we were going to beat his ass. I thought it was going to take a lot longer, but turns out it just took until, like, later on, probably that day. It really wasn't that hard, because we had a 10-man group to do it. It wasn't that bad. And at this point, it was probably about a few days into the Burning Crusade. It took me quite a while to level up. I was actually quite slow with leveling, and it took me, I would say, about on average a week for me to get up to max level. But after that time, I made my way up, and I got all the way to level 69. Almost there. And finally, after level 69, I hit level 70. Now, if you guys look at my toolbars and my bar there, my character was so shitty. It was so bad that I decided that I was going to level as prot because I kept dying so much. I was absolutely terrible at the game. If you look at my toolbars there, my taskbar, whatever you want to call them, it was not good. It was very embarrassing. I was way worse then than I am now. And of course, what did I do in order to get level 70? What was the first thing that I did? Well, it's obvious. I went and I got my flying. I had saved up just enough gold to be able to afford expert flying right there. And this is something that I'd wanted. It was 800 gold back in the day. And this was my first time ever flying in the game. Right there. I was excited. I was happy. I was glad. I felt good about myself. I definitely did. And I spent the next hour or so just flying around, enjoying myself, and experiencing the world from a place that I had never seen it before. I was very happy to be able to do this. And then obviously, as time went on, I went and I did all of the other quests that the game had. Yeah, I got the Snowy Griffin. I think yeah, it was the Snowy Griffin the first time, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, it was. And I also did all the max level quests. I was trying to get ready because my guild, Silent Asylum, they were getting ready to raid. See, obviously with Burning Crusade, the game wasn't the only thing that was released. It was also, of course, the raid itself and all of the end-game content. So I started doing the max level quests in Shadow Moon Valley and also in Netherstorm. I saw some very powerful NPCs with some armor that I wish I had had. That guy over there had Dreadnought. My character looked like an absolute complete fucking clown. I looked like a tank in Burning Crusade. That's exactly what it was. I looked like an absolute fucking idiot. And as time went on, I went over, I did dungeons, and not only did I do the dungeons by myself, but I did them with my guild. My guild was very weird. See, what you need to understand about my guild is that person next to me right there, the eye twitch, that was my my guild master, and she was crazy. And that craziness led to a number of problems throughout the years. I had originally joined this guild in Vanilla WoW. And we'll go ahead and we'll rewind for just a moment here. And I want you guys to see something else. Back in Vanilla WoW, I was still in this guild. And this is the guild that I went in to Burning Crusade with. I thought we had high hopes. I mean, shit. We killed the first boss in AQ 20. You think that's a joke? Think that's a joke? You think you just kill Carniacs randomly? Nah, man, that shit was hard. That was hard. And so I thought to myself, man, you know what? We can take on anything. We can beat any boss. We can do anything that we set our minds to. And you know what? There were a lot of things that we tried to do, and it didn't necessarily go quite as well as we thought it would. As you can see, my armor was beginning to get better. I was starting to get some of the Fell Steel armor. You can see those Fell Steel gloves on my character. I'm getting a better shield. I'm still using that sword right there. Was from the Durn the Hungerer quest line. The Crystalline Kopesh, if I remember what it was called correctly. And as time went on, we went through the different dungeons. We made our way into Heroic. And we pretty much had a terrible time. But after struggling and fighting and getting pissed off at each other, and then also getting pissed off at each other, and then also, on top of that, getting pissed off at each other, I did actually get some pretty cool gear. Look at me right there. I looked like a fucking boss. I looked like a literal god. Look at that, dude. Look at that, dude. Yeah, dude. Those were the days, man. The big dick days. And you know what? As time went on, finally, our guild got enough people together to not only get outside Karazhan for the first time, that was us getting together and gearing up, but actually get inside the instance with everybody attuned together for the first time ever. This was the first time that I had ever been inside Karazhan. That's with my guild right there. Started off strong. It really did. We did a great job. We defeated Attunement the Huntsman. What an incredible adventure. We lost a couple of people. It was a hard boss. It really was. We would raid every Friday, and I would tell all my friends I'd have to make excuses back then. I'd have to tell them that, you know, I couldn't go out. I couldn't do anything because I had to stay home and raid Karazhan. And you know what? I didn't regret it. I enjoyed it. I was very excited to be able to do that. It was awesome. And over time, I got better gear and I got better stuff. But the truth was that a lot of that gear I didn't actually get inside of Karazhan. Most of the Karazhan gear was a waste of time. But what I did instead was Arena. I did Arena with my mom. My first Arena team, my first Arena game ever was with my mom. This is not it. It's a screenshot of us playing together. I was an idiot. The first time the gates opened for the arena, we ran the opposite direction because we didn't know what side the gates opened on. So we were running against the wall while the arena was beginning. Now, we played together. Everything went relatively well. But the truth is that I was an asshole, and I would get mad at my mom constantly. And I ended up leaving the arena team. And my mom saw that I left the arena team. And I remember she typed me in chat, "Fuck you." She was not happy that I left the arena team. But there was a guy that I had played with. He was actually in my guild as well. His name was No Mas Evil. And he is the guy that I would have done arena with for the next year. Now, we were still in the same guild at this point. He was in Silent Asylum, and I was in Silent Asylum. It was a great time. Or was it? Or was it? The truth is that we spent a lot of time in Karazhan. We really did. But I'm going to zoom in on this picture here, and I want you guys to see the kind of gear that we were going with here. That axe right there was the Crystal Forged War Axe. And for those of you all with very good vision, you will see the enchant that I had on my level 70 weapon that I raided Karazhan with was Fiery Weapon. If you don't believe me, I still have it in my bank today. And this is us killing Maiden. It took a lot of time. It took a very long time. It was kind of embarrassing, honestly. But it was okay. It wasn't that big of a deal. It would take a little bit of time, but I would get better gear. I would work on it, and I would just do what I needed to do. And obviously, as I got the better gear, I also got better professions. I spent time out in the plateau, and I crafted my Breastplate of Kings. It was one of the last items that I still needed, and as time went on, I got better and better gear. I worked my ass off trying to get all this stuff, and it took me quite a while. And I was still in Silent Asylum, and throughout time, we finally managed to kill King Malchezaar, the last boss in Karazhan. I was very happy about this. Do you guys want to know why I was very happy about this? I'll show you. Prince Malchezaar, excuse me. Here's why I was very happy about it. I got Gorehelm. That's right. That was my first epic weapon back in Burning Crusade. I was fucking ready. Me and No Mas Evil right there. Me and my boy. We came together. And not only did we defeat, and obviously everybody was happy. I realized I just have another screenshot of that as well. Everybody was happy. See, Vetro, T-Storm, these are the same guys that I played with for years. T-Storm, if you guys keep in mind, he was the same guy that I saw earlier. Was it this one here? He was in my raid back at level 60. And here we are together, raiding in Karazhan over a year later. I got that axe. I was very happy about it. It was fucking amazing. And we used that axe to obviously keep going through. And we were able to kill Nightbane as well. Fuck you, Nightbane, by the way. And I did not put Fiery Enchant on it. I put, I think, Berserking Enchant on it. I believe I have that axe as well, too. I used that axe for a very long time. I was very happy that I got it. Karazhan at that point, we had basically mastered Karazhan. Karazhan at this point was basically like Stormwind. I spent more time in Karazhan than anywhere else. I would put people on follow and take naps in between wipes on Shade of Iran in Karazhan. And actually, speaking of Shade of Iran, I believe I might even have something special here. Let me go ahead and find it. So, I don't know what happened, but my entire thing just pretty much shut down. So I think somewhere around where we left off here was inside of Karazhan. Now, Karazhan was probably one of the more exciting raids that I had to do. I spent days in Karazhan. And then after those days were over, I spent weeks in Karazhan. And after those weeks were over, I spent months in Karazhan. Every day I spent in Karazhan. I spent so much time in that raid that the sheer mention of the name Karazhan would make me physically sick. I'm not kidding, by the way. But it was not without its own rewards. There were things that I got out of Karazhan that were pretty nice. Of course, I did get Gorehound. I got a number of other amazing things too. I was happy. I was very happy. Karazhan was really everything that I could have hoped for it to be. And it was the first raid that I really got an opportunity to take very seriously and play all the time. So I was really happy to see that. But honestly, that time lasted too long. I spent way too much time in Karazhan. And that leads us to right where we left off yesterday. To the point to where I had just killed Nightbane with my guild. Now, back in the day, I was what you like to call a nub. Now, a nub is somebody who's so shitty at the game that they're not even worthy of being called a noob. Absolute trash. And you know what? You guys might not believe that I was so bad at the game. So I figured I'd show you. Let me see if I can actually make this work here. Hopefully I will. Many years ago, a young Asmongold went over and I recorded everything that I did back in the day. All of it, I recorded and I put there. And as you can see there's my warrior. Defeating, Terrestrian Ilhoof for the first time with my guild, Silent Asylum. Now, Silent Asylum was a guild that, I was just kind of a remnant of Burning Crusade or Vanilla WoW. I was in this guild, I had friends in this guild. Everybody was getting along in this guild relatively well. But as time went on, what started to be realized is that the cracks were showing and we were starting to be a lot shittier than what I thought that we were. See, Karazhan was one of the only raids, and we were able to complete Karazhan relatively easily. But what happened is Black Temple came out and we were still in Karazhan. People kept using our guild as a stepping stone, which is what made sense, because there were a lot of other much better guilds on the server. And people would get geared out in Karazhan from our guild, and then they would join a better guild. And I had a conversation with a kid in real life in my computer maintenance class in high school. And I talked to him about the game, and he told me that his guild killed Illidan. And I did not have the heart to tell him that my guild killed Karazhan. I was not happy. And this conversation led me to understand my place in the world. And it led me to resent it. The truth is that I thought that I could be much better than the moron that moved during Flame Wreath and Shade of Iran. Resentment started to grow with the way that I looked at this guild. Unfortunately, though, I was still attached to them, and I still played with them for quite a while. And it wasn't just these, I've got more videos later. But it wasn't just Karazhan. As time went on, we finally managed to scrape together a meager 25 players to do Gruul's Lair. Now you can see there, all of these people are many of the different players. Look at Farlin. All these guys, I played with them all the time. And as you can see, this is the quality of the people that we were doing Gruul's Lair with. That guy right there was using the shoulders from level 60 WoW. The raid was harder than it had to be. It was. And unfortunately, I've got a story for that later on. Unfortunately, we had a lot of trouble. But as time went on, and we spent weeks and weeks in Gruul's lair, at a certain point, wait, which one is this? This was the actual time that we killed Gruul right here. So this picture right here, we did defeat High King Mulgar. And we were there in front of Gruul, and after probably, I would say, 3 hours or 4 hours of wipes, we did manage to kill Gruul in what I still believe to be the closest kill I've ever had of a raid boss in my entire life. And I will show you guys what that was. That was the kill right there, and I told this story before. There's the kill. This is how close it was. Every single player in the entire raid was dead, except for one healing priest that he died to dots on the way over to running to kill her. That was how close it was. Needless to be said, we never killed Gruul again. We couldn't really unlock that same level of luck. But unfortunately, we kept doing other stuff, and we kept having fun, and, you know, the guild stayed together at this time. But I started to realize that maybe I should do something different. And I moved over, and I did more arena as well. And myself and this other guy here, Nomos Evil, he and I played together for quite a long time. We got better gear, we got better rating, and we capped out our points every single week as a Warrior Paladin 2's team. It was beautiful. But there was a day where that ended. There was a day where Nomos Evil, one of my best friends in the guild, he and I played together all the time. One of my best friends in the guild. He quit the guild. And he joined Spaceballs. He left the guild. Now, the reason why he left the guild is, as I said before, our guild master was like what you like to call a crazy bitch. And whenever you have a guild master that's a crazy bitch, it makes doing everything in the guild much more difficult. It's a struggle constantly. Nothing is working properly. Everybody is always mad. It's always an issue. People are constantly pissed off, and it's never a good time. So she was crazy. And her craziness led to a lot of really funny moments. Because the truth is that, honestly, this was fun. Watching her get pissed off was half of the reason why you'd show up to the raid at a certain point. And honestly, my friend Zach, he and I played together for years. And over time, over a lot of time, what he and I did is we decided to... See, the guildmaster, she thought it was a really good idea to allow people to change their notes in the guild. Well, we thought this was a good idea too, but not for the same reason that she did. It's because Zach went over and he changed everybody's guild notes to whatever he wanted. I think he changed her guild note to like Hooker or something like that, and he changed his own, but they always knew it was him. Did Fallen fucking change everybody's notes again? Guess who Zach's name was? It was Fallen. We changed everybody's guild notes. And I was laughing my fucking ass off about it. And at this point, I was looking for a new guild, but I couldn't really find one. I was upset, and I feel like I was falling behind. I thought back many times on the conversation that I had with the kid at my school, and I thought of all the opportunities that I'm missing out on being part of this shitty fucking guild. And I didn't really know what to do with myself. I was lost, I was confused, and I was disappointed in myself. This was the time and the point where it was a turning point for me in the guild and in the game, really. It's the time where I took matters upon myself, and I decided to do something else and do something different. Now, at the same time that I was just start talking to this guild, I got messaged by somebody in the guild, overdose. And I started playing with those people right there. Those were the first contacts that I ever had with that guild. At that time, if you look at my armor right there in front of me, I had some of the best armor in the entire game. I was one of the only warriors that was good enough to play with this guild on the entire server. I know that you might not believe it, but I remember on a fateful night in Arathi Basin, I was messaged by this mage, Sesh here, and he asked me if I wanted to play with Overdose in a 5v5 team. And I knew at that moment, at that time, I could turn the tides in my favor, and I could change my destiny. Maybe I'm not always going to farm Karazhan. I talked to them about my guild, and eventually I said to myself, fuck it. I quit the guild. I quit that dog shit ass guild. I said, fuck it. It was a hard decision for me to make. I have been in this guild ever since Vanilla WoW. And for me to just leave the guild out of nowhere, it was hard for me to do. It really was. I know that some people, they might not really get that or whatever, but it was hard for me. And I felt bad about it for a while, but over time I came to appreciate the fact that I did leave. I was guildless for quite a while. The reason why I was guildless, even though I was one of the best geared warriors on the server, is because of one simple little fact. I was an obnoxious piece of shit asshole, and nobody wanted to play with me. Nobody ever wanted to play with me. I struggled a lot finding people to play with, and the truth is that I was basically I was a lone warrior. I couldn't really do a whole lot of stuff with anybody, really. I was just kind of... I was by myself. But I did have my own real-life friends. And my friends and I, one thing that we used to do is we used to troll the fuck out of people. So I applied to Spaceballs, the same guild that my friend Nomos Evil went to. And you know what they did? You know what those sons of bitches did? They declined me. I said, you know what? Fuck them. I said, you know what? Fuck them. Now I know people. I've got friends. I've got friends willing to do what they need to do for me. I've got a friend and his name is Jeff. And on a fateful night that Spaceballs attempted to do Kazakh, I had my friend Jeff. There's me. There's Jeff. There's Spaceballs doing Kazakh. Now I want to explain how this boss works, because if I don't, you won't be able to fully appreciate this. Kazakh, if he is engaged by more than 25 players, immediately enrages, causing a raid-wide wipe, spamming a healing frostbolt, or sorry, shadow bolt, that kills everybody in the entire raid. So I had my friend Jeff there. And he, I asked Jeff, I'm like, you want to have some fun? You want to do something enjoyable, Jeff? And Jeff said, yeah, I do. And so I said, why don't you come on over to Hellfire Peninsula right now? I've got something for you to do right now. And there's Jeff riding over to fight for my glory. And he rode like a kamikaze pilot into Pearl Harbor to doom Lord Kazakh. And the guild that declined me, the guild that defied me, Jeff destroyed them. He destroyed the entire guild. They couldn't kill the boss. They were furious. And nobody knew that it was me. I was just in there, Now, I had friends in Spaceballs. They messaged me. They said, bro, you wouldn't believe what just happened. And I said, oh, man. Did you guys kill the boss? They said, no, bro. No, we didn't. I said, shit. What went wrong? They said some Tauren warrior. Some stupid ass Tauren warrior. Under the name of Big Crits. That was his name, Big Crits. Came and ruined it for all of us. I said, Big Crits. I've heard about him for a long time. That guy's a dickhead. And they said, you're goddamn right he is. I fucking hate that guy. And you know what happened? You know what happened to Jeff? Absolutely fucking nothing. Jeff got a name change, unfortunately. They didn't like that name, Big Crits, and so everybody in the guild reported him. And there's Jeff's character right there. Now, this is way later on in Burning Crusade. I'm skipping slightly ahead, just for the sake of telling the narrative about Jeff. Now, one thing you have to know about Jeff is that Jeff has a brother named Cody. Now, Cody was Alliance and Jeff was Horde. Now, Jeff would always hog the computer, as you guys can see, with Tier 5, Tier 6, and Tier 4 gear. Every single weekend, Jeff would bring his computer up to my house. He would carry the CPU and I would carry the monitor, with the cords dragging on the sidewalk from his house to mine. And he would spend the night at my house with his brother and Cody and Cameron and all of the rest of us playing together. In my room, World of Warcraft Burning Crusade. And Jeff's mom would only let me walk Jeff home. She wouldn't let Jeff walk home by himself. He was a good boy. Or was he? Every single weekend, Jeff would make a raid for Gruul's Lair so he could ninja loot the Aldori Legacy Defender. There was a warrior on the Horde. His name was Alderic on Ascent. He was the best warrior and the best geared warrior on the entire server. Jeff wanted to be Alderic. Jeff saw that Alderic had that shield. Jeff had to have that shield. He would get together a measly, sad, pathetic excuse of 25 filthy Horde scum that would actually make Silent Asylum look like a good guild. And somehow he did manage to actually get the Aldori Legacy Defender. And Blizzard took it away from him because he ninja looted it. Twice. Jeff was still more geared than Cody, though. Cody was sitting around, and my mom felt bad for Cody. She always took a... It's like, you know, you have a pet that people are mean to, and my mom is like, oh, it's okay, Cody, I'll help you pay for your flying, it's alright, I know Jeff doesn't let you play a lot. And my mom would help Cody, and she helped him get Karazhan attuned, and Cody at this point was in greens, mostly. He was in greens and blues. He wasn't having a good time. Meanwhile, Jeff was chilling in full Tier 4. This was before this screenshot. He only had Tier 4 at this time. But my mom took an interest in making sure that Cody was happy and that Cody had an opportunity to play with us. And here's one more screenshot I wanted to say. That's myself with T-Storm. He and I raided together even in Vanilla WoW. That was us getting ready to fight King Malchezaar. And this could have been the final pull that we did before I actually got Gorehal for myself. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself or getting behind myself, however you want to look at it. After that, I want to talk about joining other guilds and things that I did past that. Now, obviously, time went on, and I didn't really know what to do. I was basically a complete fucking idiot, and everybody needs to keep that in mind. I was a complete fucking idiot. Season 3 came out, and the first thing that I had wanted to do is I wanted to kill Doomroller. I didn't even know how to say his name, or Doomwalker, whatever the fuck it was. And I couldn't even spell. Back then, I couldn't spell shit. I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew if I got a big enough raid together, we could maybe kill the fucking boss. And you know what? By the way, who's a tank? This was my planning for the raid back in 2007. Heals on the tank. By the way, who's a tank? So I thought we were going to pretty much do everything right. And if you see that bag over my head, I know there may be some new players in there. But the real ones recognize it. The real ones recognize it. I was going to steal all the loot. But unfortunately, sometimes you get it, and sometimes you get got. Even with our 80-man raid, Doomwalker proved to be too powerful of an adversary. And so I had to go back to playing by myself again. Now at this point, I had very few friends in the game. I was being alienated by more people. More of my friends had been leaving the guild. But there were still a few that remained. One of my friends, let me make sure that I've got it open there. One of my friends right there, I just randomly saw him. I remember this was like a really funny screenshot. He was just randomly sitting in the deep run tram as I went to take the tram. And he says, "Hey man, look behind you." And I remembered I still did have friends. It made me feel good to know that. It definitely did. I was a lone ranger, a lone warrior, and the truth is, sometimes it was better that way. I farmed out my own stuff. I got my own nether drake. And at this point, I was basically all about myself. I was all about doing what I needed to do for me all the time. This was right whenever I got my nether drake right here. I'll show you guys some of the screenshots of that as well. Right here, as you guys can see, this is whenever I got exalted with Netherwing. And I was still in group with No Moss Evil. We were still playing together just like the old days, man. You are now exalted with Netherwing. And then, of course, what did I do after that? It goes without saying. But I went over and I got my mount. And I want you guys to just take a look at what this screenshot is. That's my mom on her nether drake. My mom got her nether drake before I did. I don't know if I can ever forgive myself for that. I actually forgot that even happened until I just looked at it right then. My mom was a gamer. She had more slash played than I did, and it wasn't even close. But as time went on, as days went on, I started to realize that unfortunately, I was alone. I didn't have anybody else to play with. I didn't have anybody else to do anything with. And my only joy and happiness in the game was making other people mad in random battlegrounds by putting marks on their head. Take it off, man. It's hard to see with a big thing in front of you. Get this shit off, fucker. I'm not leaving till it's off. And I would just sit around and put random marks on people's heads and just do whatever I could to make them angry. This is all I would do. And eventually, I applied to every guild that I could on the server. And much to my surprise and no one else's, I was declined. Until finally I found a guild that was desperate enough to bring me into their ranks. That's whenever I joined Haven. Haven was going to be my new home. I had upgraded from my tier 4 guild to a tier 5 guild. I went from farming tier 4 to farming tier 5 in Zul'Aman. I was now playing with much better players. I was happier. I was enjoying myself more. And also, I was doing raids that gave me better gear, most importantly. Now, there are some other things that I do have to say. Obviously, this guild had its problems as well. It had a lot of problems. My previous guild, Silent Asylum, I was 17 years old at this time. 17 years old. My previous guild, Silent Asylum, at this point was floundering around just like they had always done. Still wiping in Karazhan because they wanted to gear their 4th officer alts instead of actually investing in new players to continue raiding and pushing farther ranks. And they finally decided shame had befallen them so often and so many times that it was time for them to leave. Silent Asylum left the guild. They left the server. Entirely as a guild. And of course, I took great delight in watching them transfer servers and barely edge out a kill on Void Reaver. And I think they killed one boss in Serpent Shrine Caverns. And later on, the guild died. I was so happy. Because it made me feel like I was right. I knew the guild sucked. I hated that fucking guild. I hated the people in the guild. I hated everything about it. There were a handful of people that I had liked, and they had all quit the guild. They were done. I was off to new, bigger, and better things. I was raiding in this new guild. And I also want to say right now... Wait, do we have one with the damage meter on? Where's the picture with the damage? Oh, yeah. This new guild. I forgot to even say. So this new guild, they gave me... How long do I get member? Do you know? Now, do you want to know why I wanted to get member in this guild? Does anybody have an idea on why I would want to get member in a guild? I mean, it probably had nothing to do with loot, right? I mean, there's no way it had anything to do with loot. Yeah, I mean, definitely not. No, of course not. But they did invest in me. And they gave me the red belt of battle that I would use for the rest of the entire expansion. This guild appreciated me. I forgot to tell another story. I apologize. Rewind back a couple of months before. Zach and I were playing together, and at this time he and I were leveling up alts together right there. That was my paladin and his mage on the coast of Westfall, or Wetlands, looking out, playing together every day. He stayed over at my house almost every single day, and we played together constantly. We hung out all the time, and it was some of the best experiences that I've ever had. I'll tell the other story too. So, Zach was also in a guild that, let's just say, he didn't get along with very well. Let's just say that he didn't like them all too much. And you know what Zach did? Zach did the only thing that a reasonable, good person would do. Zach went over and he ninja'd the entire guild bank. And he quit the fucking guild. Zach calls me on the phone. He says, Zach. I'm like, yeah, what up, Zach? He's like, dude, I got the whole thing. I said, what do you mean, dude? He's like, dude, I got it all. I'm like, what do you mean, dude? He's like, dude, I got the whole bank. I said, Zach, you stole the bank. He's like, yeah, I did, Zach. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, that's fucking right, dude. I said, come on down here right now, dude. Zach comes down to the house. He logs onto his account, and we take these screenshots on his account where Zach stole every fucking item out of this dog shit ass guild that fucked him around, didn't give him loot in Karazhan, and Zach immediately goes. He steals everything out of the bank, and the first thing that he does is he turns around and tries to sell the shit in trade chat. That's the first thing. What else was he gonna do? What else was he gonna do? Nothing. He's selling it in trade chat. Everybody's pissed off about it. Bodum Child just ninja'd all the shit out of our guild bank. Report him. And then as Zach was walking down, I knew this guy, Arlen. Arlen starts messaging me and he says, bro. I said, what up, man? How you doing? He says, not good. I say, shit. What happened? He says, you wouldn't believe it, man. I said, yeah, I would. I really would believe it. He says, our guild bank got ninja'd, man. Our guild bank got ninja'd. I said, what the fuck? Who would do such a thing? He says, man, it's one of these hunters, dude. I said, I knew it was a hunter, man. Before you even told me, I knew it was a hunter. They can't control themselves. So you know what Zach did? He told me what his name was. He said his name was Bodum Child. I said, Bodum Child, I know who that is. She's like, you do? I'm like, yeah. That guy's a dickhead. Zach comes over to the house. I'm like, what up, bro? How you doing, man? You want a Dr. Pepper? He's like, yeah. And so then we get a drink, and we're reading these fucking messages that the guy's sending me while Zach is sitting behind me laughing his ass off. He laughing his fucking ass off. And then Cody's over there at the same time. Everybody's in trade chat, freaking out about it. Zach asks in chat, he's like, can I get reported from that? We didn't even really fucking know. They said they gave you access. True. That's ownage. That's funny. Nice job. Did the same thing to someone on another realm. Ha ha ha. Good shit, man. Good shit. This was before the age of Twitlongers and Twitter and canceling, okay? Whenever you stole from Guild Bank from back in the day, you got props. People were happy to see it. They were loving to see it. And especially whenever it's a guild that thinks that they're a little bit better than what they really are. And we knew one of these people. This guy, CatDany, was a warrior. He says, nice, what did you get? He was a friend of mine, of course. There's always someone who will ruin a good thing. And that someone was us. Cold Slurpee was Cody's character name. Because we had just been to 7-Eleven. And Cody didn't know what to name his character. So he looked over. And he saw Slurpee. And he named it. He named his character Cold Slurpee. And he raided with this character for years. He even played back in Nightold. So everybody was angry. What the? Give that shit back. You didn't work for any of that. What's the point in ruining the game for anyone else? /LOL. What did people expect? People are scum. Reported. And then other people were saying bad stuff, and I told Zach to report the people that were saying that they were going to report him. And so I said to Zach, I said, you know what? Let's wrap this up. Let's finish this off. I told Zach, I'm like, Zach, ask for an invite back to the guild that you just ninja'd all this stuff out of. He says, why? I said, to get the rest of it. To get the rest of it, man. There was still a little bit left in there. So Zach messages. He messages old Arlen there. He says, wait, is there any engineering stuff in the bank? Because I need to get that skill up. And I might have forgotten it. Can I get back into the guild? It was brutal. He made over 1,000 gold that day. Now, obviously, Zach didn't have enough to get his epic flying. And you know what, guys? Neither did I. Neither did I. But you know who did have enough? My mom. My mom helped me pay for the rest of my epic flying mount that I paid her back for, by the way. But it took me quite a while. And my mom, on that night, around that time, helped me pay for my epic flying mount for the first time. And I was able to afford it. I was so happy. And I was also happy about how much health I had because I was the tank in Karazhan at that time. This is whenever I was not in a guild. And I was able to afford my artisan riding and ride around for the first time on my Nether Drake. That's why I had so many screenshots of it. Because it wasn't just the Nether Drake. It wasn't just my first Nether Drake. It was my first flying epic mount of my entire time playing the game. Zach and I weren't very good at making money. But my mom was. She was incredible at making money. If you were to equate the amount of gold that she had back in Burning Crusade to gold gold's value now? It would be somewhere around 30 million gold. My mom had 30 million gold back in the day, the equivalent of that. She could buy people's epic flying mounts without even worrying about it. And you know what? On a fateful night, at the end of summer, my mother knew that Zach was trying to farm for his epic flying mount, and there were no more guilds that would invite him for him to steal their guild bank. Zach was at a standstill. He couldn't afford it at all. And my mom asked Zach that day. She said, Zach, when's your birthday? Zach's like, it's in a few months. She says, well, I guess you won't be here whenever it's your birthday, right? He says, no, I won't be here. She says, that's okay. I can give you your present now. She asked Zach to log on to WoW. And she asked him to go over to Shadowmoon Valley. And on that fateful day, over 10 years ago, my mother paid for Zach's epic flying mount for his birthday. Grats. It was no big deal for her. She just paid for it. It was not, no, it didn't matter, dude. It is what it is. So time went on. Zach and I kept playing together, of course. And of course, I was also, I just want to let you guys know, I'm pretty good at the game, and I take screenshots like this. I just go in and do top damage in a BG. Sometimes I'm bored, right? Just figure, I might as well just get top damage real quick. And yeah, it was easy. It was great. I can't wait to do it again. It was good. I got better stuff. There were a number of little small stories like that. There was also the story of Jeff stealing someone's account, and then me taking the account away from Jeff, and then having the people that originally owned the account give me gold to give the account back to them, and then me cheating Jeff out of the account that he stole. Now, I had gotten better at this point. I had started making macros. I had started keybinding my abilities. I was starting to become a better player. This was the time that I had moved into my own. I was nearing the end of my high school career. It was unfortunately only 4 years. Many people in my school, it took them a little bit longer than that. I had become much better at the game than I originally was. And I'm not even kidding. I got a lot better at the game. And back then, whenever I was raiding with that guild Haven, I was one of the top DPS in the entire guild. Back in tier 5 as an arms warrior. I was one of the best players in the guild. Probably the best player in the guild. But the truth is that tier 5 is not tier 6. Now, I showed up, I did what I needed to do, and I felt a certain obligation to them because they had helped me. I was second on the DPS meter. Not even a big deal. I worked my fucking ass off in this guild. I died. But think about why I died. It's because I pulled so much aggro. I was popping off. I was doing what I needed to do. And I had been raiding with this guild for quite a while. We did all of the Serpent Shrine Cavern bosses. I was always on the damage meter, even though I should have been at the bottom of it. And even though I was in this guild, I still felt like I was basically alone. I had no real friends in this guild. I didn't like anyone in the guild. I didn't give a fuck about them. I was there for the loot, and then I would leave. I was a lone warrior, taking solace only in the times that I would make people mad. After time went on, and on, and on, I finally stopped raiding with this guild. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to be in this shit guild anymore. And I just stopped. I stopped showing up to raids. I said to them, I said, you know what? I've got to focus on PvP. I've got to get better gear. I don't want to come to the raids anymore. The truth is that I learned that I was on last priority for a number of the pieces of gear that I had wanted from the raid. And it was just no longer worth my time. I was removed from the guild. Guildless once again. They were not happy with me. And to be honest, I didn't blame them. A couple of weeks later, I was guildless, and I was doing arena with that original team that I was playing with from the people in that guild overdose. And the guild master at that time noticed that I had been kicked out of my guild. And he said, Asmon, what happened to your guild? I said, they were a bunch of fucking pussies. I didn't want to play with them anymore. They sucked. And I stopped raiding with them. They kicked me out. He said, aw, man, that sucks. I was like, yeah, it does. He says, type something in chat. I say, okay. The reason why he wanted me to type something in chat. The reason why he had wanted me to type something in chat is so he could shift-click my name to invite me into the guild. And the guild that I had wanted to be a part of ever since the time that I was back in Vanilla WoW, I had gotten invited to. I had wanted to be in this guild ever since I was level 50. I saw these guys around in the city, and they had absolutely the best gear, and nobody else was even remotely close. Yeah, we had a very special guild back in the day. I had joined the guild at this time. I had worked very hard for this, and I had been so excited, and I was so happy. This guy right here, Teflon Don, was one of the best rogues I've ever played with. This guy was such an OG. He got Grand Marshal in Vanilla WoW, and that wasn't enough for him. He went back, and he got Field Marshal on his second character. These guys were gods. This was the Neckbeard Guild. This was the guild full of assholes. And that's where I wanted to be. And you know why? It's because those assholes, despite all of the negative things about them, they were good at the game. And they gave me the opportunity to get to 1850 in Season 3 and be able to afford my Season 3 weapon. This is something I had wanted for years. The moment that I had wanted one of those best weapons in the game for so long. The day that I saw that sword, I was so excited and so happy to get it. And the next week or the week after that I finally got the opportunity, I went to the vendor and I bought my Vengeful Gladiator's great sword. And for once, I had one of the best weapons in the game. I started to make friends in this guild because I had wanted to make friends in this guild, and I had started to play with them, and they started to enjoy my company even. They were a lot better than I was. I did Karazhan with this guild, and I remember a very fateful conversation that we had. I asked them, how can we do Curator if we don't have 2 Warlocks to put Curse of Doom on the boss and have it expire whenever Curator is in the damage phase? I genuinely was in such bad guilds that I thought it was necessary for us to have a Warlock on Curator to even be able to beat the damage check. They didn't even know what I was talking about. We cleared the raid. It was easy. It was no trouble whatsoever. We did great. They even took me into Serpent Shrine Caverns. And they brought me in enough times to where I was also able to afford my Storm Herald. I had worked for this for a long time. I was so happy to have this. Every time that I got randomly stunned in Arena, that happened. The Isle of Quel'Danis released. I had my Storm Herald, and I was ready to do whatever I needed to do. Everybody was there. Everybody was excited. It was a beautiful day. on Thrall. And I went into Magis's Terrace. Now this girl, Aileen. Oh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This girl. If you think the girls are you know, promiscuous now. No. Oh, no. There was a time that Aileen was doing a Shattered Halls with 4 of the other members in the guild. They got to talking to each other. And they found out that she was sexting all 4 of them at the same time. Like an old god extending its tendrils around its victims. This girl was insane. One time she said to me that she wishes her tongue was really, really long so she could wrap it around my dick like a snake. I'll admit that I fell under her spell for a period of time. We played together a lot. We did other stuff together like that a lot. You never forgot that? I mean, bro, would you? I mean, would you, bro? I mean, come on. Oh, do I even tell this one? I'm deciding if I should even tell this one. This one's bad. This one's bad. She did the peanut butter and dog thing. My other friend told me that she told him that. Like, this girl was nuts. She was fucking nuts. She had this other dude send her, he sent her a picture of his dick, and he wrote her name on the side of his dick in magic marker. She was insane. Eventually, she quit the game. I'm deciding how much I want to tell of this story, okay? I'm sorry. I did not actually... I forgot that I had that screenshot in there, and I said, fuck it, we'll tell this part of the story, but I don't even know if I should tell the whole thing. Let me think. Okay, so... She originally posted pictures of herself on the guild website, and she was a cute blonde girl, right? And... at that time... every guy in the guild was talking to her, and she was talking to every guy in the guild and probably other guys that probably weren't even in the guild. Now, this may come as a surprise to you all, but she could... she couldn't use a mic. And she also... we found out that it was not... it was fake pictures. Here's the twist. She finally got a mic. And it was a real girl. But the pictures that she had used was not of her. And a friend of mine, Rob, another person ensnared by the tentacles of this old god, got a mail from her in-game where she told Rob what her actual Facebook was. And you'll hear a lot about Rob if I ever do a story about Wrath of the Lich King. There's a lot about Rob. There's going to be a little bit about him in this story, but he and I really started working together. And you'll see what I mean whenever I tell the story in Wrath of the Lich King. So, she sent Rob in-game mail, and she gave him his her real Facebook. And Rob sent me a few pictures of what she looked like, and she was hot. Like, she didn't even need to use fake pictures. She was hot. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Why would she do this? Like, it's like, let's say the girl that she posted was like a 7. She's like a 6.5. Right? And like, yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I think because she had braces or something like that, right? I don't remember exactly. It was a very, very long time ago. And she said she's leaving the server. And Rob asked her, why are you leaving the server? She said this: I will never be on another server that Asmongold is on again. I will never be on another server as Asmongold. And you know what? I don't blame her. What'd you do? A ton of stuff. Anyway. Things went on. And I got better gear over time. And I was very happy to have done that. I was playing in the guild. And I was still joining and hanging out with everybody and getting to know everyone. You're nuts? No, I told people about the dog incident, and I embarrassed her in like another way too, and everybody started making fun of her for it. And it's like, cause like she didn't want to, like, I forgot like why I did this. Like, I think that I stopped talking to her. She stopped talking to me. She like ignored me, and then so I told her, but I'm like, yeah, fuck it, who cares, right? And that's what it was. No, she deserved it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. So anyway, the Isle of Quel'Danis release. The Isle of Quel'Danis releases. And this is the first time that I'm actually in there. I'm going into the new guild. And I'm part of it all by myself. And I had actually moved into... You guys have to understand what a come-up this was for me. I was originally in, at the beginning of this expansion, the worst guild on the server. And I had just been invited into the best guild on the server. My ego was on the moon. You guys have no idea. I was the most insufferable, obnoxious piece of shit that you could ever imagine. And if you think for even a second that the way I act on stream is even remotely close to how bad that I was back then, you didn't know me. It was insane. It was fucking insane. I was the worst person that you could ever imagine. But I was playing with my friends, and I was happy about that. Here's a friend right here. ST Pally, Hand of a Doll. I made a lot of good friends in Overdose. Some of them I'm still friends with. ST Pally, he and I played Classic together yesterday. Now, obviously, guys, I still had to work my ass off. I still had to play and do what I needed to do. Because if you look at my character, I want to ask you a question, a very simple question that I think all of you absolutely know the answer to. What's missing? What's missing on my character? My shoulders. This right here was my game. My last game. With Winry, he was one of the druids in my guild. This was my last game. They got me to 2K rating. Digital Gangstas. I know this might sound as a surprise to you guys, but I thought of that name. I got 2K rating. We popped the fuck off. And I bought my fucking shoulders. And after the longest time, for the first time ever in my experience playing this game, I was best in slot. I had every best in slot item in the game. I had full Vengeful Gladiator gear. I was the big dick of the server. There was only 2 or 3 or 4 different people that had these shoulders, and I was one of them. I felt like a god. I still wear this transmog set sometimes because of how happy I was to have it. Multiple screenshots as well, of course. Obviously, I would take every opportunity possible to take screenshots of my character in my full Vengeful Gladiator gear. It was amazing. I was happier than ever. I had finally gotten the opportunity to do this. Like, honestly, it was so amazing for me because I had never really... Like, it was just so big. I can't even... I can't even express to you guys how big of a deal this was for me to go from this guild that I would take literal screenshots next to the members in their guild to actually being in the guild myself and being friends with people in the fucking guild. Like, this was such a big fucking deal for me. It was awesome. I was so happy, man. I was so fucking happy. You guys have no idea. Now, obviously, we were a great guild, but every guild does make mistakes. Every guild has setbacks and problems. And every guild, even in tier 6 gear, somehow wipes on Karazhan trash. We screenshotted this because I couldn't even believe that it happened. I still can't even believe that it happened. We also did other stuff as well. I want to say also we were doing the doing raids in Orgrimmar, having fun with each other, just playing the game, enjoying ourselves, and doing what we needed to do. It was fucking amazing. I was super happy about it. Unfortunately, however, the person who had originally got me into the game, Sesh, opened trade with me one evening, and he gave me a bunch of stuff randomly. He was quitting the game. I was sad to hear this. This is one of the more unpleasant times. I was not happy at all about it. And it sucked. It really did. I didn't really know what to do about it or what to say about it or anything. You can't really convince somebody like that that they're gonna do anything or anything like that. But I was sad to see him go. I'll say that for sure. I definitely was sad to see him go. So anyway, we'll fast forward a little bit more. Obviously, I kept raiding and playing with them. I got a few other better pieces of gear. And I'll be honest, I think I looked like a big dick badass right there. And I don't even think it was close. I looked like a fucking god. I love the way I looked. I still use that belt that I got from that old guild. I had my gloves from Gruul, the gauntlets of martial perfection. I was using fist weapons because I thought they looked badass. It was great. And I was raiding with one of the best guilds. Actually, really, the best guild on the server at that time. And you can go fuck yourself. There were a lot of times that I would say things to people and do things that would make people mad. And then those people would get angry at me and they would message me things like that and I would screenshot them because I thought it was funny. I was a cocksucker. But I was a good-looking cocksucker, I'll tell you that. I was one of the best-looking cocksuckers out there. And I loved it. Look at that gear. Look at that armor. Look at those enchants. And you know what? Patch came out. I kept playing with the guys. Endeavor, Echo. These are all people that I had played with for years. I don't remember anything about Chaos Master except that I didn't like him. Ecthelion. He was one of the best warriors on the server, and I would always ask him for advice. Echo, he and I were the two top warriors on the server for PvP, and we would always kind of, there was a little bit of a rivalry between us, but we were always good friends. And Endeavor was a paladin, and he was just very good at the game. I never really was good friends with him, but he and I were in the same guild. And obviously, you know, some people, they might not really think that I was as good as I say I was. And so I want to go ahead and I want to show a little clip here. I'm going to show a little clip here of back in the day. Back in the old days. Back in the Burning Crusade. A young Asmongold with Berserking. Show you guys what it used to be like. How good I used to be. Yeah, I had 5 FPS. Yeah, I recorded everything back in the day, man. I had full best in slot. People had to know about that. Look at that. 2 fucking people on me. Fucking deleted. Absolutely fucking deleted. Destroyed. A druid, 2,009 crit. 3,000, you're fucking dead. Yeah. Yep. I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be so good. TBC is gonna be so good, guys. Yep. Back in the day, I used to be good at the game. What can I say? It was a great time. And it was a long time ago. That's why I got invited to the best guild on the server. As you can see. I had a lot of good times back then. And carried by healer. Hey, there was 5 of them. They should have killed the healer. That's their fault. So anyway. There was another time that I would duel with people. Now, if any of you guys played Burning Crusade, you'd remember this. You were able to duel inside of Ironforge. If you dueled underneath, there was a certain building. And I would always require anybody who wanted to duel me over the fire pit. Because if you dueled me over the fire pit, the winner died. This right here is Bozy. I'll go ahead and I'll tell you a story about Bozy. Bozy used to play a character named Darkwinds. He was a horde shaman. And my guild killed him so many times. Bozy re-rolled and made a character on Alliance and joined Overdose. That's the way it goes. The winner died. Asmongold is defeated. That's right. Now also, as you guys see, there are 2 other names in here. Namani, she was a friend of mine that I had known for, at this time she was in the guild. She was like, I mean, shout out to Mon, she was like 15 or 16, raiding in Black Temple, popping off. She was one of the best priests on the server. And Dakina, you guys asked about CatDany. CatDany was Dakina. I still keep in touch with all 3 of them. Bozy's doing great. He's got a kid. Dakina's doing great. He has to deal with Olympus, so that's 40 kids. Namani's doing pretty well, too. It was a good time. We just get in vent together and have fun and talk and just play with each other and just enjoy our time that we had. It was beautiful. And then as time went on, time progressed. And you know what? So did I. I was getting better gear. Season 4 had released. Obviously. I mean, obviously I was getting all of the best gear. Brutal Gladiator. It was beautiful to see that. And you know what we did in order to get our gear? We had fun. We took the flag. We got so bored of farming honor. We would just take the flag and go to some random area and sit down and have a little feast here. Have a little picnic. Just have a little bit of fun. And there's me and CatDany, me and Dakina, sitting there. Obviously, there's me with the flag on. And I'm just fucking around, pissing everybody else off in the group. And I didn't give a fuck. Because I was doing what I wanted to do. And that was just good enough for me. Obviously, I made other friends in the guild as well. I was friends with almost everybody in the guild. This is me right there whenever we were doing just random PvP, probably buying stuff. This guy in Nechka, he spent half the time healing and the other half getting high. That was pretty much it. And I was a fucking idiot as well. And we were playing together at this point all the time. I would join, I remember this is a very, very clear memory in my mind, is I remember I woke up on Saturday morning and I was going to my computer and I'd leave myself in voice chat because I just never turn off my computer, same as now, right? And I would leave myself in voice chat and I would hear my friends and my guildmates talking before I even put on my headphones to start the day. And I was so happy because I knew I'd be able to hang out with my friends in my guild and play WoW with them, and it was going to be fucking amazing. But not everything was amazing. The fact is that the former glory of Overdose was waning. The guild was getting worse, and that no, it was not because I joined. At this time, the guild had raided all the way from, I think they came from another game. Like, Overdose players came from another game. It was like EverQuest or something like that. So many of them at this point were about 25, 26. They were older. And their lives were taking priority over the game, much to their disappointment. We had a lot of people leaving the guild. Some people stayed, many of the people stayed, but many of the other ones had to leave. And Overdose was losing its #1 spot. There was a night that the other guild, the guild's name was Illusion, killed Brutalis in Sunwell before we did. This was a guild that we had previously been so far ahead of. They were in tier 5 whenever we were in tier 6. This was a wake-up call for a lot of us. Everybody was lazy. They were getting fat. They were just so used to being on top, they didn't know what it meant to earn the spot. But unfortunately, they didn't have enough people to go in and do Brutalis all by themselves. Many of the raiders had quit. One of the raiders actually was an arms warrior who took Cataclysm's Edge and left the guild. And they didn't have any other arms warriors left in the entire guild. And they needed an arms warrior to defeat Brutalis pre-nerf because of the debuff. But they did have an arms warrior. They had me. They invited me to Sunwell on a last-ditch effort to go in there and try to actually defeat Brutalis and reclaim our former glory that we once had, that we had lost. It was embarrassing, it was sad, and I didn't really know what to do about it. This was one of the most exciting periods in time, and I didn't know exactly how hard the boss was going to be. I had watched 8 different videos about it. I had been completely ready and prepared for it, but the truth is that I didn't really know what it was like. This is my first time ever raiding. And as always, some things never change. Begging CatDany for consumables because I forgot to bring them to the raid. Well, you know what? We were down, but we weren't out. After a few hours of attempts, we came together. And for the first time, I really meant we. We came together. And I, with the rest of the guild, defeated Brutalis pre-nerf. Pre-fucking-nerf Brutalis was the first serious guild raid that I did with these guys. I was so fucking happy about it. It was amazing. It was incredible. And I would always, always, always fucking remember this. And then they decided to stop raiding. Stop raiding Sunwell. They were happy with how they had done in Sunwell. Not forever, just for the week. And they wanted to do Black Temple. And oh, look who's in the raid. And they asked me. I asked, actually, I think I asked if I could come with them to Black Temple. And you know what they told me? Well, it was obvious. Every guild needs an arms warrior. I remember the moment that I went into Black Temple. I had all of my friends that I had known for the entire expansion and even in Vanilla WoW. They were messaging me. They said, "Bro, Black Temple?" I said, "Yep." They were like, "Are you kidding me? You're in Black Temple?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm in Black Temple, man." And they were so happy for me, man. It was like I just made it out the fucking projects into like a fucking $100,000 a year job, man. Everybody was happy for me. They were patting me on the back. I was feeling like a god. And I had made it. We went in and we defeated the other bosses as well. They invited me and they brought me along. I got a few pieces of gear myself. And on top of that, I did miss out on the only boss that I really wanted to kill was Reliquary of Souls. I remember my mom made me eat dinner with her in between the boss, so I had to go AFK. And I had made it. I was happy. And I decided to take a step back and decide what I wanted to do with my time. One thing that I decided to do. Oh, and by the way, for anybody who doesn't believe any of this, that's a friend of mine right there from Overdose. It's all real. It's all real. I told them that story. I did, with the magic marker in you. I did. So anyway, I leveled up my paladin. Whenever I saw how badass Holy Paladin, or sorry, Prop Paladin was, I felt like I had to do it. I needed to do it. He says he has a screen. Well, I told you guys. I fucking told you guys that this is what she would do. This is exactly what she would fucking do, man. She's nuts. She's nuts, man. Okay. So anyway, we were in, what was this here? I was leveling up my paladin, just having fun, playing with the boys, and I was going back and doing old content. And we had another guy in the guild. And that guy's name, and this is going to be another main character in the rest of the story here. That guy's name was Kryptonites. Now, does anybody remember the story that I told you all about a paladin who beat me on the roll, the corrupted Ashbringer? His name was Barrington. Fuck you. Fuck you, Barrington. Suck my dick. Fucking idiot. What battle group was KT? I think we were Storm Strike. Kryptonites was a self-starter. He was a man that took matters into his own hands. He did what needed to be done. And he was a jackass. And every Friday night, Kryptonites got together a raid, and we went into the original Naxxramas in order to get him and everybody else, his Atiesh and everybody else, their tier 3 gear. The announcement that Naxxramas was going to be removed was just made. And we had gotten together a group. We would do this every Friday. And we would raid and do this. And it was really fucking fun. This is my first time seeing Maxina. That's a big fucking spider. That's a big fucking spider, and that's big fucking true. We went with a 40-man raid. We were just there for the loot, man. That's all it was. I was very excited to do this. And this right here is us, and that's that son of a bitch. That son of a bitch that stole my fucking sword, man. He's right there. See him. Fucking see him, man. I should have fucking tried to get him to steal it for me, man. I didn't even try, man. I just let it go. What did you roll? Who cares? I didn't win it. Fuck it. Who cares? Who gives a fuck, man? I didn't get it. Dude probably quit. I wouldn't have quit. Listen. Back in the day, this is what we would do. Now, Kryptonites had a way with words. And the way that he would use his words is very often and very liberally. Even though he was so much of a conservative that I believe he served on Trump's campaign back in 2016. I still keep in touch with him. He was an asshole. I liked him a lot, though. We played together all the time. So anyway, Kryptonites went to explain. He went to explain this fight. And I knew how long explaining 4 Horsemen in Vanilla Nax was going to be. I went with my friends, and we walked all the way down to the corner store. And we walked all the way back from the corner store, all while Kryptonites was explaining the 4 Horsemen. And we finally pulled. And we wiped in 10 seconds. Time went on. Everybody was pissed off. People were sitting around. This is not good. We were fucking annoyed. Everybody was pissed off. It is what it is. We had the full raid together, though, and everybody was determined to kill the boss. I'll be right back. I need to take a bit. Yes, at level 70, nobody knew what to do. But the debuffs are really hard to deal with. I'll be right back. So, remember what I told you guys about Kryptonites being an asshole? You wash your hands? Well, I don't wash my hands. I got a clean dick. Now, remember what I told you about him and Namani not getting along? Fuck Crypto, I hated that guy. I remember using all my DKP on the last boss so he would spend all of his DKP on that mace. Good times, haha. Yeah. Yeah. You never forget shit like that, do you? You never do. It was a good fucking time, man. You don't shower? How do you keep a clean? I actually have showered more often because I'm worried that not showering will leave crust on my head, and then the crust will make my hair go gray. Like, I've convinced myself of that, so I've actually been showering a little bit more often because I don't want to get gray hairs. It freaks me out. Okay, so yeah, that's about where we're at. So we would raid Naxxramas every single night. We had a lot of fun doing that, and it was actually fucking amazing. I used to love doing this. It was great, man. Let me see if I can find any other... Do I have any videos of this or not? So this is us way back in the day. As I said, I've recorded all of this over the years. There's us right there popping off, killing Patchwork with my computer that's obviously... the 3 hamsters that are still alive in it are just running as fast as they possibly can. I have all of these old screenshots and all of these old videos. 1 frame per minute. Look, dude, like this was a good frame rate for me, man. I know it might sound sad, but it's true. Anyway, so we did all of Nax all the time. But at this about time, something new had come out. Something special had come out. At this time, a new mount that I had wanted had been released. And I had to have it. That mount was the Brewfest Kodo. The reason why I had to have it is on the night that the Brewfest Kodo was announced and added into the game, a shit player got it on their first attempt, and he said, wow, nice. I said, not on my fucking server. That's not gonna happen to me. And I went in there every fucking day. And I went in there as much as I could, as often as I could with my friends. I would drag my friends' alts into it. I would do whatever I needed to do. And I put over 500 runs. 500 runs to get this fucking mount. And you know what? It dropped. After 500 more runs, at the end of a server shutdown, I even dragged my mom into it. And I remember, I think Senna was like, STP's, or sorry, not STP's. I was thinking about something else. ST Pally's cousin. And I remember I paid each of them 1,000 gold to pass on this mount for me because I had wanted it so much, and I had wanted it every single day. This is all I thought about was this mount. Like everything that I was thinking about was this mount. I want to have this mount. I need to have this mount. Mount. And you know what? I fucking got it. I was so goddamn motherfucking happy. You guys have no idea. It was amazing. I was thrilled. This is why it's one of my favorite mounts, and I like using it still. It's because if this is the first rare mount that I really went out of my way to farm. Now, obviously, I had worked some time, and I had done also the attunements as well to get into the raids. I had forgotten to show them that before. And then as time went on, I was able to actually get inside to here. This is whenever I got my Hand of Adal title right there. It took quite a while. It took quite a while for me to get it, but it did finally happen. I was very happy about that too. That was the day that I became a mount farmer, you're right. And then this one right here, this is us doing Hegan. And the reason why I screenshotted this, let's look at what happened there. That's crazy, huh? That's crazy how I was top damage. Wow. Damn, man. Look how these kinds of things happen, huh? Let me see if I can find another one here real quick. I think there's another one I was waiting for. Now, obviously, we also did other raids as well. It wasn't just this raid. We went back and we would do AQ40 sometimes, and we would hang out with people all the time. I think this was a little bit later on in the past, but in the future. But we would do all these guild raids together, and I would be playing with my guild all the time at this point. It was great. I was relaxed. I was having fun with them, and everything was really, really good. Overall, I was very happy playing the game, and I was doing it all the time. And I don't know where the screenshot is. I suppose I don't have it, or it's not here. But very soon after that, I continued and I went back to Arena. And I remember I got my Brutal Gladiator's Bone Grinder. This required rating 22,050. This is one of the hardest weapons to get. And whenever I got this mace, I remember very clearly the day that I got this mace. I went to community college, and I was in a statistics class, and she passed out the tests, and she showed me what my grade was, and I got a 53, and I said, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I didn't even care, because I knew that I was going home, my arena points were gonna reset, and I was gonna buy my fucking mace. I was so goddamn happy, man. You guys have no idea. It was one weapon was 1800 rating? No. The weapon, no. The weapon, the Season 3 weapon went from 1850 to 1800 in Season 4. But the Season 4 weapon was at 2050, and then the Season 4 shoulders that I never got were at 2.2k. So that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. Anyway, so I did get this mace. And the mace helped me out a lot, actually. Because we did need to finish Naxxramas. And this was my first time ever doing Naxxramas, because back in the day, you know, I was not really that good at the game. I was the idiot that didn't even know how to get attuned to Naxxramas. So, whenever I finally did get it, whenever we finally killed Kel'Thuzad, I was so happy. This was such a big fucking deal for me. I was just... I was fucking thrilled. You guys have no idea how big of a deal this was for me, because I had really wanted to get this kill for a long fucking time, and I felt like I had kind of completed the game because this was the final time, or the final thing that I needed to do. And let me actually resize this so it's not too big for you guys. There we go. And this is us actually killing the boss right here. How do we kill him? What was the KT loot on your first kill? We actually got the Nerubian Slave Maker. And the guy that messaged me a minute ago, Int Dog, on my Battle.net, he was the one that got the gun. I remember, he still has it now. So yeah, nice stacking. Oh dude, we were so excited about killing the boss. We didn't even give a fuck, man. We didn't care at all. Why did you guys do Nax in BC? Because it was getting removed. And Kryptonites wanted to get his Atiesh. And he had never gotten it, and we wanted to finish it and get him his shards. And so that's why we did it. And we ended up killing Kel'Thuzad. It was fucking amazing, man. Yes, you can count the frames. My computer was really, really shitty. Trust me, guys. I'm fully aware of that. So yeah, it was a bit of a disaster. It was a great fucking time. Now, obviously, we took all of the normal screenshots that every guild does or every group does whenever they complete Naxxramas. I was super happy about doing this. It was really, really cool, and I don't know. Like, I'd always thought like Naxxramas was a super mysterious and hard to do guild like place. It was like really, really big fucking deal. And there was only really one thing left for me to get. There was only one thing left for me to do before the what do you call it? Before Burning Crusade came out. Wrath of the Lich King came out, excuse me. Oh, shit. Yo, he has the screenshot. Look. Look. He just sent it to me. 1 second. There he is. That's whenever he got it. And look, there's me. There's me. Wait a minute. Right there. Right there. It's Kryptonites and everybody else. Holy shit, man. Yeah, I assumed that NU had a lot of the old screenshots too. But, yeah. And, it was amazing. So, the last thing that I needed to do, there was a raid that was going to be removed, or the reward was going to be removed in Wrath of the Lich King. And that raid was ZA. I wanted my Amani Warbear. I wanted it so bad that for the first time ever, I took the initiative and I asked a guild if they would be willing to accompany me in a run to get the ZA Warbear. There were a lot of people that still didn't have it, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I want to go in there and I want to get it for myself, and everybody else can roll on it too. And we did. We did the ZA bear run every single time that people had time. And every single other person in that group won the roll on the bear. I was the last person that didn't have the bear in our group. The day before the Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch, ZA reset for the last time. And I had one last shot where the bear would be gone forever on that night. I went in there. And, it was rough. Let me just say that. It was rough. I had a lot of trouble. Obviously, this was the day right before the patch came out. And what had happened to us is as soon as we had begun the timer, the server had crashed. I recorded the entire run. And the reason why you're only seeing part of the run right here is because the server had crashed and my recording had gone away. Everybody logged back in after the server came back. And after chaining potions together, using constant consumables, and being right up against the wire, after time and time and time, finally, we managed to come back from almost losing it before we even killed the first one to actually having... Where is it? To actually having the bear mount drop. And for me to be the last person in the entire group to get it on the last day that it was available. The final day. I was the only person left. And I want you guys to see what it was like whenever it happened. Let me move ahead. This is the entire run. Everybody was so happy for me because I had spent so much time trying to get this mount. There's Kryptonites gratzing me. I said, holy shit. I couldn't even believe it. I honestly, my heart sank at the beginning of that run. I thought it was never going to happen. ST was there. All the boys were there. And everybody collectively passed on the mount for me to be the final person to receive it in our group on the last day before it was removed from the game forever. I was so happy, man. I was so fucking happy. There it is. There it is, dude. It was amazing. How much time did you have left? Let me see if I can check, actually. How much time did we have left? We caught up pretty fast. Like, I mean, we're in, like, tier 4 gear, right? So it wasn't really that bad. Or, sorry, tier 6 gear. I can't even tell. Like, the graphics are so bad, I literally cannot even tell. So at this time, I had just finished and gotten myself the Imani Warbear. I had ascended to the ranks of an actual raider within my guild. One of the best guilds on the server that had reclaimed its throne as being the top alliance guild on the server. I had gotten the last mount that I had ever wanted that was going to be removed from the game. I had found a new group of friends, of people to play with. And finally, after all of this time of playing, I was ready to go into Wrath of the Lich King with a real guild, with real motivation. I was so happy. As you guys can see, obviously, we took a million fucking screenshots. Like, literally a million screenshots. There's everybody with the mount. I think one person wasn't riding it or didn't want it. I forgot what the fuck happened there. It was so long ago, I don't remember. And there it is, on that final day, us taking screenshots together with the mount. Sunwell, we didn't finish Sunwell. A lot of the people in the guild didn't really care to do it. With Wrath of the Lich King being so close, people gave up. And there's me and Kryptonites as well. He and I were very good friends. We played and talked together every single day. He and I later on in Wrath of the Lich King would trade runs. And we would do, like, it would be like me on my alt and his main. And then I would help his main get the mount. And then it would be me on his alt and my main. And he would help my main get the mount. And, like, he and I did this together every single day. Every day after raid we would do this. Obviously the patch comes out. And we go through and we do all of the old content back over again. We do everything that there was for the achievements. We were super happy about it. And you know what else came out at about that same time? Hollow's End. Yeah, I changed my hair the first day. Hollow's End. You didn't kill Illidan? You'll get to it. Hollow's End. And on the first day, on the first run, CatDany was so mad. Yep. He's so pissed off, man. And I won this shit on the first day, on the first year, man. And I beat everybody else on the mount. And, like, by the way, they had been farming this all morning. And I woke up on my first run and just need rolled that shit and got the mount. I was so happy, man. You guys have no idea. I was riding that mount. The first thing I did was immediately go to, like, Stormlight. Yo, guys, look at this. 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 And then also I was going into Alterac Valley, getting people to inspect me on the brand new mount. Nobody even knew what it was. And also, of course, at this point I had become a raider in the guild. And you know what I did in the guild is I raided in the guild. I popped off. We killed Illidan. We did whatever we needed to do. Dead again? Hey, I'm number 5 on DPS. Who gives a fuck, man? I'm popping off. Always dead? I'm not, no, the thing is, like, I would never attack a boss from the back. I would always hit the boss from the front, man. I would attack the boss from the front, so he would be able to see me, man. None of that pussy shit from attacking from the back. I would parry haste the boss all the time. I didn't give a fuck, man. Yeah, I didn't get, that's literally what I was thinking. That's literally what I was thinking back in the day. And obviously we did this. We did the old raids as well. We had a whole lot of fun doing that. And this was the time where I had gotten together and everybody was playing together. It was super fun. I was taking screenshots of my character. I loved the way that my character looked. It was fucking amazing. Obviously, this was just so cool. And we were able to go back and do Archimondo and all of the other raids. And I started to really become a part of the guild and a part of the group. And that's whenever it really kind of felt more real to me and it felt better to me. I was so happy. We were obviously doing the, what do you call it? Obviously doing this kind of shit too. The Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch event. It was a great time. AQ40 as well. Of course, AQ40. Some people were new to the fight at this time, so I had to tell them what to do. I had to help them out. We use TeamSpeak, we use Vent. We always use Vent. And yeah, that was it. Don't fucking set people on fire. And yeah, that was Rixa. Rixa was the he was the first person in the guild to get the warg waves. This guy was like, he was the best rogue in the guild. Solid advice, yeah. Senna was also really good too. Like, there's a lot of people that are really good, but like Rixa was insanely good. He had been in the guild ever since like Vanilla WoW. Like, he had Bone Scythe back in Vanilla WoW. That's Jeff right there. Jeff also doing Archimond. I want to tell you guys a little story about Jeff. Jeff was in band. Jeff every single weekend would hog the computer and not let Cody play. Jeff was monopolizing the computer and getting all of the tier 4 gear. Meanwhile, Cody was sitting around barely trying to find a group for heroic Shattered Halls to hopefully get a blue item from the second boss. Cody was in a bad place. But there was one weekend that Jeff had to go to band camp. And Cody came over to my house. He brought the computer up the same as we would do every weekend. And that was one of the weekends that we were doing runs for the tier 5 content. And my group didn't have enough people. And I asked Cody. I said, Cody, he's like, what? I'm like, do you want to go to SSC? He says, I'm not geared for it. I said, it doesn't matter. We're all in tier 6. He says, really? I said, yep. Log the fuck on. And we brought Cody into SSC and Tempest Keep. And we cleared all the bosses. And it was not a big deal. Cody got the pauldrons of the War Dancer. The shoulders that drop from Hydros. The shoulders that, by the way, Jeff had wanted ever since the game came out. Cody leapfrogged over Jeff in gear progression in one day. One moment, Jeff lets his guard down. One moment, and Cody was in full tier fucking 5. Jeff comes home the next week, and Jeff's like, what? How'd you get all this gear? What happened? He's like, oh, I just did a raid with Overdose and Zach. Well, how'd you get the shoulders though? That's from Hydros. He's like, well, we kill Hydros. Well, how long it take, man? He's like, it's like a 3-minute fight. He's like, y'all didn't wipe? Cody's like, no, why would we wipe? Everybody just did everything right. And Jeff's like, what? What? How do you go through, how do you do SSC without it taking 8 hours? Because Jeff didn't fucking know. Jeff didn't know, like, because he always would do pugs and shit, so he didn't know what a real guild was like. And in that one day, Cody had better gear than Jeff would ever get in Burning Crusade, dude. It was so funny. It was so fucking funny, man. And so, anyway, Jeff was over there, and this is what would happen. It's about the same time around there. And, you know, people, FYI, Asmongold, you're awesome. That was, you know, it was pretty nice. It was good. And then there's Rob right there. Again, Rob is going to be in the level 80 screenshots quite a bit. Quite a bit. And this is, again, Dakina was in the raid. Mini Cooper, he was one of the co-GMs. And then Rixa as well. Let me see if I have any more. I think this might be might be all of these screenshots here. Let me see if I have any more good ones. And I think I have some other videos I can show you guys too. Let me pull up some videos. This is how bad my frame rate was. This is me whenever I was tried to do Brutalis. I was my computer was so fucking bad. But I mean, I was obviously top DPS anyway. It doesn't even really matter. So, Wrath of the Lich King. I ended Burning Crusade. I started Burning Crusade. Let me say that. I started Burning Crusade a nub with a level 30 Vanilla WoW enchant on his blue weapon who raided Karazhan. And I ended Burning Crusade in nearly full Brutal Gladiator gear in a guild that was doing Sunwell. It was fucking amazing. It was a very big come up. 0 to hero. Yeah, it was a big fucking deal. And I was looking into Burning Crusade. I had just graduated high school a little bit ago. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going to get a job. I wasn't going to do anything with my time except for play. Look, sometimes you get... Oh, let me play another video. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, anyway... That's us doing AQ40. Yeah, I forgot that I died on that. Yeah, I remember dying on that. There's us doing AQ20 as well. Caught in 20 FPS. Where are the WOD screenshots? Let me ask you guys something. Did you like the story? Was it as good as you would have imagined? You guys liked it? But yeah, I mean, oh yeah, let me go ahead. Let me go to my bank. Let me go to my bank. I can show you guys some of the old items that I talked about. Oh, there it is. There's my Crystal Forged War Axe. The original one with fiery weapon. Remember the one that I told you guys with, that I raided Karazhan with? There, it's right there. I have it. I still fucking have it. There's my Storm Herald as well that I crafted myself back in Burning Crusade. And there's my original Gorehowl with my Savagery enchant on it that used to be 70 attack power. And also, my Brutal Gladiator's Bone Grinder with Executioner on it as well. And I still have it. Let me see if I have any of the other items as well. I don't know if I do. I have... Oh, I did get the original Tier 3 token items, like the Desecrated Bracers and Waistguard. Yeah, I still have these as well. And yeah, I have all of this old stuff. I have, obviously, Bindings of the Windseeker. All kinds of this stuff I've held on to for all of these years. And I still have this here, the Tiny Voodoo Mask from the original Zulaman. I did get rid of my Berserker's Call, I'm pretty sure, so I don't have that one anymore. But I have tons of this other old stuff. Let's see if I have anything from... Do I have anything from BC? I don't know if I do. There's just so many other items that I have. I might have gotten rid of some of it or put it in void storage, which would have cleared the enchants and everything on it. Yeah, apparently I just have stuff pretty much from Dragon Soul and like Cataclysm, which is like my oldest. And I have some Dreadnought stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have Warglaves, right? But like, I got those way later on. Like, I didn't get Warglaves like until way later. Did you get a Poly in the Soul Render? No, no. Like, Brutal Gladiator's Bone Grinder was the best thing that I had. I remember there was a guy in my server that got it, and I was like, I remember I mailed him Oathkeeper. And I was like, hey, if the sword doesn't work, you can have this too. Oathkeeper was a level 68 blue. So it was a joke. Show your fake corrupted Ashbringer? Okay, I'll show that. I don't think people have seen that before. Look at this. There it is, dude. There it is, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude. There it is. Totally real. 100% real weapon that I got myself. I know, guys. It's crazy. Guys, so did you guys enjoy the TBC stream? The screenshot stream? Did you guys enjoy it? Was it fun? Fun to watch? You guys liked it a lot. I'm glad. And I think that if people want, I could get the screenshots together for Wrath of the Lich King and tell the story for that too. I don't know what the time frame on this is going to be, so I don't want you all to be like, oh yeah, okay, it's going to happen tomorrow or whatever. I have no idea. But it will be semi-soon, and then after it is, we might go to Cataclysm after that. And so thank you guys all very much for watching. I really fucking appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, boys. And until next time, boys. And until next time, boys. I'm going to run some ads and call it a day. Peace!